This is a quick top 10 list. Check this out. These are just speculations of mine as to why Joe and Joan Q. Public stop exercise. And fail can be a derogatory word. I'm open for suggestions if anyone has a better one, but in the interest of moving on, these are what I think are the top 10 reasons why. Industrial revolution. I hear everyone talking about a Ford truck, a Ford vehicle. I don't know what's going on with that, but Henry Ford, I mean, he invented the automobile, it pretty much got it widespread in America. I mean, automobiles get us around everywhere, and I think they're great. I have a Ford, I've had 10 Fords actually. Ford, Carnegie, Vanderbilt, Getty, those are the industrialists of our nation. They invented the combustion engine. They made physical life for Americans very much easier, and they made the life much less energy demanding. Okay, one of the net effects of, or resultant products of that is overweightedness. We burn much less energy than our predecessors, significantly less, almost half of the energy in terms of basal metabolic rate of the current American compared to the American from the 1890s. That's huge. I love having a vehicle to get me to work. I love having a lawnmower that cuts my grass instead of like one of those sickles like the Russians use, you know. I love having those. But is there a way I can employ those to my best advantage without really making myself a sedentary individual? I'll ask you that question. So the industrialization really facilitated everything in our lives to the extent where we didn't change our energy intake correspondingly, and then you can see what happens from there. Simple math from there. Here's a nutritional example to that. Just making a cake. Betty Crocker made, a cake in 2 steps instead of like 10 steps. So even making a cake was something that cost you less energy once we got the industrialization going in this country. Okay, so take the best of both worlds. Use modern technology like we are here in the iPods, but be active with them. Download an iPod workout and do the workout on the iPod, right? Food for thought. Inconvenience. It's just not convenient to go to the gym. Take it from me, type 1 diabetic. I got a scorching case of diabetes. There's nothing convenient about it. Now, lifestyle diabetes, we call oftentimes type 2 diabetes, still not very convenient. So you'll have to ask yourself, what's the lesser of 2 evils? Disease, devastation, and death aren't the most convenient things to deal with. And so if you think that, embarking on that physical activity program is inconvenient, think about the alternative. And that should be a major driving force for you to stay compliant and stay motivated and stay moving. Exercise is uncomfortable, so is disease, even more so, right? I know exercise is uncomfortable, especially at first. All the more reason to take yourself from that 85%er to the 15%er. Because when you get to 12 weeks, the vast majority of the exercise-induced discomfort is out the window. Now it's like smooth sailing. It's like an investment, that 85% deal. It's like an investment. At first when you make an investment, you're putting all your money in, but you're seeing no payoff, no dividends, no dividends. Then right before the stock market starts to change and you're really going to get payback on your investment, you lose your patience and you pull out. That's what that reminds me of when folks pull out by the 12th week with exercise. You're just about to get all that benefit and you say, wow, this isn't working, I should just stop or do something else. Fitness industry myths. It's quite a confusing industry that I'm a part of, and that's why I've become quite qualitative in my recommendations, because you can get caught up into semantics when you start to say 30 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity, 5 or 6 days a week. You pick. No, I pick what? 5 or 6, or moderate to vigorous, or 30 to 60 minutes. I mean, I got a lot of choices here. So it's like, I'll pick the lowest. I'll pick 30 minutes to moderate exercise, and I think I'm going to go with the 5 days a week. I mean, it's like an a la carte program design. There's a lot of myths in our industry. And I think, I get a lot of questions about, well, what's the best exercise, this or that? It's like, anything you like to do, let's just get moving. That's kind of what I try to do. And not working hard enough. You gotta work hard. Everyday life is hard. Dealing with disease is hard. There's a lot of things in our life that's hard. Listening to me talk could be quite hard, I'm sure. Sluggish response to exercise. When diet and exercise aren't enough, ask your doctor about what Lipitor, someone said. I never said that, Your Honor. Yeah, it takes a while to make change. That's why we become exercise skeptics. I'm not quite sure this is working out. I mean, I'm 40 years old, 30 years old. No, I'm 40 years old. It took 40 years to get where I am. It's not going to take 40 minutes to change that. It may not take 40 years to change it, but it's not going to take 40 minutes. And it may take a little more than 40 days too. Okay, yeah, it's a sluggish response. Lipitor works in 2 or 3 days. Glucophage works in 2 to 3 hours. So these drugs, these medications that are seemingly equivocal choices, even though they're really not, they really have much more expedient effects and responses than exercise. And that makes that decision start to be difficult. Do I go with exercise? Jason said it works great. I mean, look at him and all that. But man, it's hard, and it's like, man, I can take this pill and clear my glucose very quickly in like 2 to 3 hours. I can take the statin drug and really lower my cholesterol significantly, appreciably, in 2 to 3 days. Guess what most people try to gravitate towards? Sometimes we call it the path of lesser resistance. All right, I lose patience. This is just taking too long. Come on, you promised me great results in just 2 to 6 weeks. Injury and illness. I mean, that's no-brainer. Some's within your power, some's without. There's injury with sport, there's injury without sport. Lack of entertainment value. That's really, I mean, I encourage people to find a recreational activity that you enjoy to do and focus on it and go after it, seek it. Put it as part of your life, because if you try to tie your arms behind your back and do something that you abhor, just think about how long you could possibly do that for. All right, unrealistic expectations, okay? That speaks for itself. Real quick, because I'm running out of time. Top 10 ways you can enhance your chance. Set goals, realistic ones. Consult a professional. Start out on the right foot. Give it your all. Make this, there's no other option for me. I'm going to do this and I'm going to succeed at it, and there's no options for me. There's no alternatives. Use a variety of exercises. Be consistent. Remember, it's a perennial goal. You wanted it last year, you wanted it 5 years ago, you'll want it next year, and you'll want it in 5 years. So once you get the ball rolling, what a shame it would be to stop, because now you got to start the ball rolling.